kind of best of both worlds. Okay, so here we go, and let's hit slideshow. All right, and here we are. We're ready to go for Management 114, Essentials of Customer Service. And I am Dr. Littlefield, and we're going to be together for the next 7 weeks. And this is a topic that I absolutely love. I created this course. I created the certificate program. It's a stackable certificate program that would lead to an associate's, but you can also do it with a degree that you're already pursuing if you've taken these certain courses. So work with your advisor about how that may work out. And if they've already told you that you can get a certificate, then you probably have just about everything that you need for it. You might be taking a couple other courses that would fit in as electives, but I would work with your advisor on that. All right, so you are officially the first Pierce Fit course to take this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's an exciting thing. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go through, do some introductions. We're going to talk about the syllabus. We're going to talk about expectations that you have of me and expectations that I have of you. And then we're going to actually jump in and do chapter 1. And I realized that on the first night of class, maybe not everybody has their textbook. There is the chapter 1 already posted in the course. I scanned it because I had 2 students who, one book was delayed, another one had a different edition or something was different about it. That wasn't you. No, because you're just into the course. So anyway, so somebody else had a delay getting the book. So I decided to go ahead and post it. Chapter 1 is what you need for this week. If you've not read, that's okay. We're going to go through the information, but then read it, and that way it'll resonate. Pardon my coughing. I can't get rid of these allergies.
I know. I have it too.
It's just like...
Is that tickle?
Yeah, right here. I drink water all day long, but it doesn't do it. And then we're going to look ahead and see what we have to do this week. Okay? So introductions. You're going to be doing the video introduction in the meet and greet. But let's at least introduce ourselves to each other that's here in the classroom. Okay? So who wants to go first?
Hi. My name is Jawarren Hughes. This is my 3rd year here at Pierce, and I originally started out in paralegal, but I decided since I'm retired, I'm not going in anybody's law firm and do research all day. So I switched to criminal justice. That was my background anyway. So I did 9 years as a police officer here in Philadelphia, and I retired as a detective in the sheriff's office.
Nice.
Married, 2 sons, 29 and 46.
Woo.
And my husband's retired too, so we travel a lot.
Good for you. Any grandchildren?
One.
Spoiled,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, she's a young lady, so, and she lives in Georgia with her mom, and her grandmother lives in Georgia. And she's a sweetheart.
Good. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, all. My name is Sanaya. This is my 3rd semester here with Pierce. My major is business administration, so with my background, I'm sort of familiar with customer service, with my experience with it, but I hope to learn more in this classroom. I am the oldest of 3 kids. I'm the first in my family to go to college. I was transferred from Hofstra in New York to here, and I'm much more happy here because of that entire situation, which I'm not because right now. But I'm just looking forward to what we're going to do right here.
Excellent. So you guys are, you reported how many credits? So how far are you until graduation?
Well, I mean, each class I've had before is 3. I've had 2 each class, so I have 6 so far.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I can't math. I'm sorry, 12 so far.
Okay. And you transferred credits?
And I'm hoping to transfer my other classes, 6 other classes in Hofstra, but unfortunately, due to, for some reason, they're withholding my official transcripts because they claim that I owe them over $13,000 when I don't, according to both New York and Pennsylvania. But they keep sending me letters and emails saying that, hey, you owe us over $13,000. But I don't, and they will refuse to transfer my credits. So that's what I'm working with now. But I'm
Stay on top of that. Yep. Stay on top of that, definitely. Because if you've got evidence that you've already paid, then yeah, just work on it. Keep going. How long till you graduate?
I graduate next year.
Next year.
So,
Awesome. Commencement is one of my favorite days of the year because we have such celebrations that go on in the Kimmel Center. And there's families up in every layer, and there's cheering, and there's crying, and it's such a fun day. But I am Dr. Littlefield, and I have been at Pierce College for 6.5 years now. I started out in graduate studies. I developed that program, the Organizational Leadership and Management program, and then I was tapped to come into the faculty chair position here in business. So all of the business administration, accounting, human resource management, and organizational leadership programs fall under my scope. And I was intricately involved in creating this new program, which is the Associates in Leadership Development, which folds perfectly into the organizational leadership and folds into the organizational leadership and management program. So really we could help someone get 3 degrees plus 2 certificates, all while staying right here. And that's an important piece. When we did that, we did it through the eyes of employers and other stakeholders that we have here at Pierce. It's not when we create a program, we don't just throw a dart at the wall and say, that's going to be what it is. We do a lot of research, and we want to make sure that we are creating a program that's needed and that will have a space out in the market. So that's kind of what we're doing there. But I have 2 puppies and one's a puppy, one is a normal dog, 4 years old. One's named Brady and one's named Kelsey. Okay, you can see where we are on Sundays. We're a football family, and it's fun. But Kelsey we adopted her as a lab mix, but she has absolutely no lab in her. She has golden retriever and border collie. So she's got this long, beautiful blonde fur, and she's got energy that is up to here. And so she's a total nut. Earlier today, I told the class that that's what we have. So next week, they're making me bring in pictures. So I'll show you pictures next week over too. But we're going to puppy training, puppy manners training. And we found out on the first week that we were doing everything wrong. So instead of ignoring the bad behavior, we were saying, no, stop, no. Well, by giving attention, you're rewarding that behavior. And it's going to be something we'll talk about with customer service. Because if you've got someone in your face and you're giving it back to them, that's what they want.
right.
So you need to keep very calm and keep things very even, and that's how you handle a situation that might go downhill very quickly. But I come to Pierce with a business background. So I have quite a few years of experience in hotels and resorts, working in Louisville, Kentucky, in Boca Raton, Florida, and in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I worked in housekeeping, which scared the death out of me. I was originally a corporate management trainee for Hyatt Hotels, and that meant that I had to go through every department in the hotel. The one I was terrified of was housekeeping, because I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? I loved it. I absolutely loved it because it was immediate gratification. You could see when that room was sparkling clean. Every single guest that came into the hotel, they didn't all go to the restaurant. They didn't all use certain services, but they all used the guest rooms, and they all slept in those beds. And so I ended up learning to love that department because of that. And when I moved from Louisville, Kentucky down to Boca Raton, Florida, I happened to get down there right before Hurricane Andrew came through. So it was in '92, Hurricane Andrew comes through. We were spared, we were good. Homestead, Florida got hit really bad. We went down, volunteered, helped, feed them and stuff like that. But when we were putting the hotel back together, I was paired up with one of our VPs of human resources. And everybody just flocks to help each other during this. And so I was teaching him how to set up the little minibar area, and something as simple as the ice bucket, I still remember to this day, you had to make it make a smile. So you put the lid so it was on an angle, and it made a smile. Well, he kept like, I can't believe you're teaching me how to do it like this. And I was so articulate about it, he tapped me to come into human resources to be a training manager. And that's how I got into classroom setting. So I would do orientations and reorientations and all sorts of different topic trainings that we were doing, and fell in love with it. And I always knew that I would get back into the classroom at some point. But I ended up going from there for career progression to Myrtle Beach for another human resources position. I was only there for 6 months because that was one place that I didn't fit in. I couldn't make friends there. It was so strange because I could make friends with the friendless, but I didn't sound like them. And as a place to visit, it was fine. But what they didn't know is I was born in Georgia, so I was more Southern than them, but I didn't sound it. And so I was very much an outsider. And it was very uncomfortable. So I decided to pick up and I moved back home. And when I did, I went back to school for my MBA and worked for a startup company where I was the only employee for a little bit. And then I grew this company with the owner to about 30 people in the first year. And it was a manufacturing company. We made fitness equipment. It was rubberized polymer. And we took it to QVC, we took it to Target headquarters, we took it all over the place. But I was going to have to move out to Pittsburgh where the manufacturing plant was. I didn't want to go to Pittsburgh, especially in the winter. That's not where I wanted to be. So I decided to, instead of doing that, open my own business. And I was an entrepreneur for about 16 years. And I was a wedding florist. And so I learned how to do customer service to the ultimate level because you don't mess up a bride. You do not stay in business if you mess up weddings.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best things that we did. So once we were dealing with everything like that, 2008 hit and the economy tanked and we took a big hit. We lost probably about 50% of our business because what did people do? They found areas that they could do on their own and they tried to do their own flowers. Not always successfully, but they tried. And at that point, I had already been going back to school for my doctorate, but I accelerated it so that I could say, okay, here's our exit strategy. This is how we're going to close down the business and then go full-time into teaching. And so that's how I got here. But I always wanted to be able to bring all the experiences back to the classroom because in an environment of adult learners, I learned from you as much as you learned from me. And one thing that always bothered me was somebody who only knew what it said in the book.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
You have to be able to take what this means and relate it to real life. That's how I teach. So I'm glad that you like that idea because that's going to be what we do. But it was, I had a faculty member when I was an undergraduate who I always said, if I ever get a chance to make an impact on someone like she made on me, life would be great. Well, now I get to do that. And I always wanted to come back to it. I told her one day that this is what I was doing because of her. And she's long retired, and it's one of those things that you never know. But she was the same way. She was able to take her experiences and combine it with the educational piece. And that's how we learn. And it's powerful.
You knew you knew Professor Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was in his class.
Yeah.
And I get teary-eyed every time.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody would ever be able to.
Hi. We've got lots of markers.
Oh, good.
We're good. Do you have any rags to wipe the board with?
I'll see if we have any. I'll bring you up on video.
Okay. Thanks, Lynn.
But it was him that convinced me to stay because I was like, I can't do it,
Yeah.
and like you said, to be, in my 60s and, like you said, I'm the first. And my father, my mom, none of them were able to go, to school. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. I just don't know. And it was, oh my God, it was a couple of times that I was like, I just can't. And he was just, first of all, he was just so personal.
Yeah.
I still have papers that he graded. Every once in a while I have to go through them, and
I know.
but like you said, this man, I would come to school and a couple of us, we was in the class and everybody was like having an anxiety attack and he was just, come on in, okay, Jawarren, okay, and he'd sit down.
Did he call you by your last name too? Jawarren Hughes?
And he crossed his legs and, okay, Jawarren, okay, what? Wait just 1 minute. Wait, and he said, listen, we're not going to be stressing. And I'm like, but Professor Miller, you don't, he said, we are not going to be stressing. And his thing was, he would always say, he said, listen, it's okay if you don't get it. And he was, I'm like, no, he said, yes, it is. It's okay. It's not life and death if you don't get it. And I was like, okay. But I don't think you've been had not been for him, I think I would have left.
Yeah.
And I'm just amazed that I'm like, in year 3, and I'm like, and I'm already talking about, I told my husband, I said, I think I want to keep it going. I think I want to go on and get my master's. You know, and he's like, oh, go for it, you know, go. But like you said, he would just bring it down to earth. Wherever we were, he would use wherever we were to, you know, and I had one class that was the only class that I did online, because when I came to class, the professor stood in front of the room and she read word for word, and this was a computer class too. And of course, I'm learning still, and she would say, are you paying attention? And everybody's like, no, because we're at the computer and we're trying to see what you're saying, and I'm trying to apply it. And I went for one. After that, I said, you know what? I can stay home and I can read the book, and then I can, you know, pace myself. But I am just so thankful that you said that, because it just makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does. So Professor Miller was the faculty chair for legal studies, and he passed away 2 years ago, December.
It was December. We had about, what, 2, we was planning on for Christmas.
Yeah.
He was like,
It was like the second week of December.
what are you cooking?
Yeah.
He asked, what are you? He said, I make a mean oyster stew. And we were like, I eat oyster stew for Christmas, but oh my God,
Yeah.
it just.
His office was one door down from mine,
Okay.
and I would see his coat hanging there. That was the toughest thing.
Oh,
That it ripped us to the core.
you can imagine.
It was horrible.
We were actually in this class. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a tough time here. But anyway, so I still would like for you to go into the meet and greet and do a formalized video introduction for those who are maybe not going to watch this, but that way at least you can see who they are and all that. So the syllabus. So the syllabus is posted. For my office hours, I'm always here on, oh, that says Tuesdays. It's really, today's Wednesday, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's Wednesdays. Oh, that's wrong, but I'll fix that. Let me fix that right now. So Wednesdays, I'm always here. And the cool part about it is you don't have to have an appointment. Simply send me a message. You don't have to wait until Wednesday to meet with me. If you go right here to the inbox, use the inbox instead of my email, please.
Okay.
Because this keeps it right within the course, and it doesn't get lost among the millions of emails that I get. And I don't want your email to be dropped down to the second page just by accident. Okay? If you send me a message in inbox, I will respond to you. We will schedule a phone call. We'll schedule an on-campus visit, whatever it may be. I put the Wednesdays from 11 to 12:30 because we need to put something there, but you're not restricted to that. And that's why it says by appointment. Okay? And then our instructional week. So this part right here. So we start class on Wednesdays. Today is our first day of week 1. Our class goes until Tuesday night at 11:59. I have this course set up so late work is not accepted. So discussions will end on Tuesday at 11:59 and they will close. The reason I do that is because if you have both done your work and the discussion, you've done everything you've done, you go on to the next week and someone comes in and posts late, there's no obligation for you to go back and read that. It's the equivalent of walking into an empty room and talking and walking back out. There's nobody there to have a discussion. It's a discussion. So we'll talk in a minute about the posting requirements for it. But even written assignments. So you'll have some chapter assignments and scenarios. They still need to be done by Tuesday at 11:59. I was saying earlier that I teach the same class at 1 o'clock for Year Up, which is the younger students. And I asked them outright, I said, how many of you are procrastinators? And some of them are. Hi, come on in. Are you here for 114?
Yes.
Great. What is your name, please?
Iona.
Which one are you? We have two of you with the same name on.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, so you're Ayana Mola.
MOBA.
MOBA. Okay, awesome. So make sure that you're aware of, any delays that you have, anything like that. Just let me know and I can work with you on it. But otherwise, that's pretty much what it is. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. So here's information about the textbook. The textbook, like I said, if you don't have it yet, chapter 1 is posted. If you go here to announcements, in fact, I need to probably stop that screen share and pick up the new screen share. Okay. If you go here to the announcements, right here where it says Welcome to Management 114, Chapter 1 PDF provided. If you don't have the book yet, you can click right here. And guess what you have? You've got the chapter. So there's really no excuse in not being prepared for week 1. Okay? Here it is right here. Okay? But I would really encourage you, if you don't have it, to go ahead and get it. So here's the course description, the typical description that we have. The course format, we are Pierce Fit, so that means you have the ability to come or to be online, whatever works for you. Wednesday to Tuesday. If you have not done this, this is for those online or for Ayana, that's how I say it, right? So if you have not done it yet, if you would take a minute to go here to announcements and click on how will you participate and just take this really quickie survey. You did yours, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you haven't, anybody that's watching online, it doesn't mean that you're restricted to that. It just gives me an idea of how many we'll have here on campus. And then what do we have for work? So you have online discussions, okay? Everybody knows online discussions are a fact of life. Most times you will have 2 discussions, okay? You guys will follow the one that says for the on-campus student. Those that are working fully online will follow the one that says online student. And then everybody will do the one that says all students, okay? So typically the one that is for the on-campus students, it's a follow-up to what we've talked about here in class. You're not being asked to regurgitate what we've talked about. I'm asking you to process it, engage with it, figure out how can you make it make sense, okay? Those that are online might have to take a topic and really finesse it a little bit. In the all students, that's so that you can all get together in one learning environment. And I would encourage you to engage with somebody else other than those here in the room. That's going to be how you get to know each other. That's why I want the faces and the voices and that type of thing with the video introduction. So what are the posting time frames? So what I'd like for you to do is to know that the discussion opens today on Wednesday. By Saturday night at 11:59, you need to have your initial post answered. Answer whatever the prompt says. And then between Saturday night, Sunday morning, and Tuesday night, you need to have at least 1 post. But you need to have 3 posts throughout the week. So whether you do 2 before the initial date and 1 after, that's fine. The stipulation is they've got to be on 3 different calendar days. Okay? So you could do Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. You could do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay? You could do Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. Whatever works. As long as one's before and one's after, and then one's at any point in time on a different day. Why do you think I have that set up like that? To what? So you don't cram it all in, right? There's a lot of times that I will see posts that are made within 12 minutes. Well, that doesn't do anybody any good. Yeah. You can type yours and reflect about it and think about it. And then you can also see who else is chiming in. If everybody did theirs all bing, 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 and say you're usually the first one to post, there's no one there to post to. By having a post date, that means everybody has a chance to be read. Everybody has a chance to have a dialogue back and forth, okay? I am a stickler for those 3 calendar days because I think it's important. Like before, it's the same thing of if I do everything within 3 minutes, I come into a room, I say my piece, and I walk out, and I never listen to what anybody else says. That doesn't do anybody any learning, okay? There's no experiences to be gained that way, okay? And then we have 30% of your grade are scenario assignments. So these are going to be written assignments that will put you into a scenario. What would you do? okay? These are to be written in college writing. These are to be written in full sentences, paragraph form. Make sure you put your name and the assignment name on everything. It sounds silly to say that. You'd be surprised how many assignments get turned in without even a name. I can see who it's coming from, but if I do a batch download, I don't know who it is, okay? So make sure that you do that. And these are kind of scattered throughout the course. And then you have a midterm and a final, okay? Week 4 and week 7. They are 50 questions, multiple choice, true, false. Different than my afternoon class, you guys will do these at home, okay? Now, what is my take on having your book open? You never quite know how to answer that question, huh? I don't care if you use your book. You want to know why? Why do you think it's okay with me if you look at your book? Well, because you bought it, yes. Hopefully you've read it, right?
Probably because, I mean, a lot of times you're not going to memorize everything, but at the same token, you probably also want to know that we're able to find the information.
Absolutely. I don't need you to memorize and regurgitate. If you read it, because remember, you can't go into these and do it in a timely way and have no idea where anything is in here. So you've got to be prepared for it. But if you've prepared for it and now all of a sudden you've got to go back through, that tells me you're reading it again. So that means it's up here yet again. That way you're going to be more apt to retain it than if you memorize it and then push it away. So I don't mind that you use your book. If you encourage, whatever, if you really need to, that's fine. We do not have small or short essay questions being answered, so you don't have to worry about word for word, things like that. That's something that I've run into, that people would take passages word for word. That's not what it's meant to be. It's not meant to be a copy and paste. But definitions, you're going to know a lot of it anyway, because this course is very intuitive. If you have experienced customer service on either side, you get what it's about. But there are some definitions that you need to know. So I don't mind that you do that. But it is timed, and you get one chance to take it, okay? So it's not that bad. But you do have week 4 and week 7 with those. And then you have the last part that you will be assessed on, and those are the chapter assignments. So they're just like what they sound. You're going to be reading a chapter, and then there's going to be something, an exercise in the back that you're going to do. Typically, there's a couple questions. I would like for you to write out the question, or at least number the question, so I know when you're transitioning from one to the other. But again, sentences, full paragraphs, that kind of thing. I'm not a fan of bullet points. I'm not a fan of little one-sentence answers. I'm not a fan of just a blurb that doesn't even have punctuation. Okay? It's college writing still.
Yeah.
Okay? And then this gets into policies and expectations. Just read through this as you want to. This is going to be the same. We have standardized our syllabi in the business division. If you're in other divisions, you may not necessarily have all this, but it's all relevant information. And then this talks about some of the technologies. If you're doing your video, or if you're doing anything online and it's not working, try changing your browser first. So if you happen to be in Firefox and it's not working, switch to Chrome. If it's not working for you in Chrome, switch to Safari. Switch to something that you're not using and try it. If you still have trouble and you can't get something to work, go right over here to the help button. And I have more options here than you guys do, but if you go right here to this one, the Canvas support hotline for students, and it's a phone number, 24/7, they're there. Okay? I wouldn't use the one below it that says the chat, because I don't communicate that way. I talk, I want to be able to say, so this is what it's doing. I don't understand. You gotta help me. That phone number right there is one you should keep very close.
Yeah, I used it a couple times because me personally, because I got something to compare it with, I still don't particularly care for Canvas.
Really?
I don't. You got issues a lot of times with submitting things, you know what I mean? Yes, so we've had quite a few issues with Canvas, but I've done both. The chatting, I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it was beyond their control. Sometimes it was, they said, they would, notify the instructor, and then I notified, and I took what they said
Right.
and sent it to the instructor. Sometimes it was something that the instructor had to do.
Right.
But they were very, you know, like on point.
And we do find out when you've contacted them, and that's important for us to know too.
So we have to do video, we do live capture.
So what we're doing right now, we're recording this right now. That's why you'll see me up in that corner every now and then. This is being recorded strictly for the purpose of being able to post it for you guys as a refresher, but also for the students who are online that may want to hear what we do in the classroom.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay.
good.
I don't teach to the PowerPoints that are posted. I teach to ones I create that are based on some of the content, but it has you talking and doing things.
Okay.
I don't want to talk the whole time. My voice will probably be very gibberish by the time we're finished because I've been talking all day. But so what I want to be able to do is take these and then guess what? By tomorrow, post them in the course. Okay? So you'll see it up here, but I had this on and I took it off. Now maybe with 3 of you here, maybe next week we'll actually do it. But that will be posted in here. So the key to what you're asking too is if you have to do videos, you will need to do a video. So if you go over here, and I might as well jump to it now since we're talking about it. If you go here to Module 1, to Modules, and you go to Module 1, you're going to be able to get to your work 2 different ways. You can either click on these different items, okay? And by the way, this one right here, you're not going to do. You're going to see an EX entered in the grade book for you because you're exempt from it. The students who are online are going to see an EX entered in this one right here because they don't need to do that one, all right? That's how we keep it equitable, that you all have the same number of discussions, you just have different ones to do at some points. But you can either go to them directly from there, or you can click on week 1, start here. It tells you what you've got. Here's the chapter PowerPoint. Here's a video that we're going to watch in a little bit. And then you can also click on these buttons. These buttons will take you right to where you need to be, okay? So here's my meet and greet video. Here is a video, is a set of directions on how to do it. But what you're going to do is real simple. You're going to click on reply. You're going to click on this button right here. See that button right there? And when you do, you've got to allow the computer. And this is where you might need to keep Canvas's phone number handy because every computer is a little bit different. So it's recording, but I don't see the web. Oh, because I'm already using the camera. So it won't let me use the camera twice. So it's recording if I click start. And then, let's see, so this will be a sample. So this is a sample, and because I'm using the camera, it's not going to record my image, but here it is. And guess what? And you click save, and there it is. And then you click post reply. So this is a sample, and because I'm using the camera, it's not going to record my image, but here it is. Okay. Now I think I'm going to delete that if I can. All right, but we can do them later if you want to before you leave. That's really about the only video that you're going to do in this course, but there will be other courses that you're going to be doing videos in. Okay, so back to the syllabus. We've gone through all of this part, and then just like before, it gets into week by week what you have to do. Okay. Oh, check that out. That's new. That it shows you these things. So assignments, I need to clear that out because everything's down here in assignments. But anyway, it shows you how it's weighted. Okay. Any questions on the syllabus? No? Okay, so let's go back to sharing this. And expectations. Let's talk expectations for a minute. What are your expectations of me?
One time,
I will do.
because I'm a time person. I'm very time conscious.
We talked earlier. Are we starting at 5:30? I said, yes, we are.
Well, I mean, you already built on that you're a person who goes directly level quickly. Yeah, I it like when people like kind of follow the guideline of the book, but I appreciate those who can take those topics and subjects in the book and apply them to not only real life, but ask their students their real life experiences and then relate that, so that way it's not just a boring situation where you have one person, one teacher just read it off the book and not actually teach. Because I don't clarify that as teaching, that's just reading the book.
Right.
We
can all read.
Yes, that is environmental to me. And you, the fact that you make it so that we can learn.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that verbatim, like,
Yeah.
and I could have read it at home.
But you have to explain things. I think the other thing for me is that, like, and this is just me being here, me being a campus student, I appreciate being on campus with other people and talking to people rather than being online and only talking to a screen. It can have the same desired effect because you are talking to people through a screen, but I feel like it's more immediate when talking to people here.
So,
And any additional, because that is, I could say, expertise. So I welcome your own, any outside of that you can bring in, or be it a video, or, you know, make some, if it's a guest, anything that's going to, you know, make it more interesting in the classroom. And also, I expect from you, timely, just when we do something, I like to be able to see, okay, you know, my work or the grade, I don't think I should have to go 3 weeks. You know, I'm in week 3.
Yeah.
You haven't even told me what I've done in week 1 yet. Yeah.
So my goal, is always to have something back to you before the next one is due. So if you have work that's due last night, I won't have it today,
Oh, okay.
but my goal is to have it by next week.
Yeah.
There are times, I hope it doesn't happen, but there's times that I get bogged down with the projects.
Right.
And at that point in time, I will do my best to get it caught up as quickly as possible. Just be patient, but don't be afraid to say, maybe I posted it wrong. It could be operator error on my part, and I may not know that you can't see it. I won't lie to you and say, oh, how come you couldn't see it? Well, no, because I know eventually you're gonna be able to see the date that it was posted.
So
So,
now I have teachers that lost papers.
yeah, well, you can't lose them if they're posted, you know, and that's something that is always a challenge when we get to about week 4, because by then we're into such a routine. But I will say that that's when it's most important for you to get the feedback, because that's when you're getting over the hump of the course.
yeah.
And now you're into, holy cow, we only have 3 weeks left.
Mhm.
We have 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
I have 1 week left. I haven't had anything graded since week 2. That's not fair. So I promise I will do my best. I take my shoes off when I do
I'm
projects.
not, I'm
I don't know if you saw that.
That's okay.
I'm a country person.
Me too.
And they're flat.
I don't wear shoes.
Me too.
They're flat, so I still take them off anyway. But so in case I can tell you what they're feet. They're clean, but you know. So I will do my best. I promise I will do my best. But if I get bogged down, just know it's because I'm doing something that I get pulled for. But I try very hard. I put information in my calendar to block out time for grading. The worst part is I know that I can work over that. But,
Yeah, and hopefully, I hope that we all can do the same, that we can make sure we get our times to you in certain minutes, and we'll call you if we have any questions. And that you'll be able to alert us if there will be any like events coming up and they overlap, because my last semester I had caught the flu. So for 2 weeks I couldn't come into class for fear of spreading the flu.
Thank you.
So I had to email one of my partners in my project and say, hey, I can't make it to class, and I had to be my professor, I can't make it to class. I felt devastated because I like coming to class, but for the sake of my own health and everybody else's, I had to stay home.
Right. But I think that's a noble thing. Don't share with you.
Yes.
I love you guys already.
Yeah,
Don't share that with
yeah.
me. But no, and I think that's important, and that's where the beauty of Pure State comes in, and that you can participate fully online. If we've got somebody in here, this is going to be recording, so you'll get that benefit of actually hearing what we do in the classroom. There are times that I will forget to check that the mute button is not on. There are times I will forget to hit record. So be my guiding person. Make sure you do this right, okay? But I do think you also said something else important. If an assignment is turned in on time, I'll be able to grade it. If something's turned in after the due date, well, actually you can't because I think I've got it closed. But if something happens to be late, you gotta tell me that it's even there for it to be graded.
Right.
Send me a message saying, hey, Dr. Littlefield, I just submitted whatever, it's there for you. Then I know it's there, and I can jump in there and grade it and give feedback. So it's just one of those things. Any other expectations for me? Okay. I will be prepared. I promise you that, and I will always bring energy.
That's enough.
That's what I do.
You're giving us more energy than any other professor.
Yeah.
I believe that.
It's in the evening and kind of cool down time for everybody, but I feel as though that we keep like an open mind, like this calm area. There's not going to be students in here anyways, but if we're open and we can talk and discuss about the topic that you're teaching us, we should be easy class. So I have no doubts.
And I think this is a safe space that we need to remember it's a safe space, that we can talk about company experience and not know that I'm gonna go gossip about it in the lobby.
Yeah.
Because you might tell something for a company that you work for,
Yes.
that they may not want everything up there. Now you're saying, well, you're recording it, so you're putting it there. This is going to go on YouTube as an unlisted, so you won't be able to search for it. It will only be in Canvas.
Okay.
The only people who have access to it are those who have access to Canvas. So I don't list them as public, so nobody finds them. Even if you search by name, you don't find it. You only get it if it's in Canvas. So you have that luxury of knowing that. How about my expectations of you? What do you think?
Same.
Be on time.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. You'd be surprised how many people don't read. What
It
happens?
is fun. You just said, oh my gosh.
What happens if you don't read? I'm not talking about tonight because nobody ever reads
You're
the
not
first night.
prepared. You don't know what's going on. You can't say, you can't even go with the flow of what's going on. You can't-
And it shows.
It shows. How can you talk about something in here? Because we're going to talk about something in here if you have no idea what it is.
And how about people, well, what about, it just amazes me in the class and we're doing finals. And you got one more week in school and then somebody says, what is the final about? So did we do a draft? So where was your draft? And I know I was in one class and I was doing, we had to do something and oh my God. So we was doing it in sections. And so we were winding down and I had like almost like 15 pages. And so this one person, they said, well, when is it due? I'm like, it's due like, tomorrow, whatever. And she said, I'm gonna fluff it. And I told my husband, he said, she's gonna what? She said, she's gonna fluff it. He said, well, what is that? I said, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, she's a fluffing behind. I said, I got 15 pages, and how in the world are you gonna do this in one day? I said, and you know what? It's gonna show that you fluffed it.
They're the papers that we all read and we go,
what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
One thing I can say is that my last class I just completed, it was probably the toughest class I wouldn't say that it was tough, just what I'm taking from you, very, easy to talk to, but the class wasn't hard. It was just I would say the person that was teaching it. There was a whole new crowd. So whenever we came in, it's like, okay, I done read the chapter. I'm thinking I'm prepared. You give me back, my information, and you're like, you missed it. And you're like, wait, you put this here for me to read and be prepared, but when we come to class, it's completely different.
So they weren't clear in their
Exactly.
And that's one pet peeve of mine when it comes to not only just teachers, students, if you have to be clear in your directives, why do you think we need to know what it is? I'm not a mind reader. I can't expect you to know what I know and vice versa. So if I want you to know something or do something, I'm going to specifically tell you what I need you to know. Unless, I don't need to know it, in which case I won't tell you. but if you need your students to do an assignment and it's due at this date, I'm not gonna tell you, oh, you need to do this assignment and that's what you need to do. That's restricting information, which will end up leading to some students failing, or they're not doing the assignment at all because they have the time to work to do it. I've had it happen to me that.
And it leads to confusion, and I always say to every single person in this class, not just the three of you, but everybody that's online, is if you're not sure about something, don't wait until Tuesday night to send me a message at 9:30. Guess what? I probably won't answer. My phone might ding at me, but I'm gonna roll my eyes and say, they had all week to ask you this question, right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's a respect level. I
That's right.
respect you,
Yes.
and I would hope to have that come back my way. If you shoot me a message in inbox, we can talk about it. But don't procrastinate, don't wait until the last minute. And I had somebody earlier today challenge me, so what would you say if I say, I do my best work under pressure? My answer was, I would challenge you on that. Because if you write something at the 11th hour, you don't have time to proofread it.
No, you don't.
You don't have time to reflect on it and add and edit. So is that really your best work?
No.
No. If you did your best work and you gave yourself 2 days to then look at it, proofread, because you can't proofread right into your right side.
No, you're not, because you're in a rush.
Yeah.
You're not even missing, you're skipping over on the ear.
Your eyes are reading what you think you wrote. I would always say, anybody I say who's writing a paper, which you guys don't actually have a paper, right? You've got assignments, but not a paper, is let it sit overnight and then read it out loud to yourself. People will look at you funny. But the reason you read it out loud is what?
Because you hear, and then you hear
Catch the mistakes.
the mistakes.
Yeah, you hear, because at that point, your eyes are gonna read the words that are there. Plus, if you find that you're stumbling on something, go back and rewrite that. Because if you're stumbling on it and you wrote it, you can be sure that I'm gonna stumble on it because I'm reading it,
Right.
okay? So make sure that you give yourself time. Even these assignments that are due, I would say proofread them.
Yes.
But if you wait until the last minute, internets go out, trees fall, flat tires happen, who knows?
No.
Who knows what it could be?
Absolutely.
So definitely update people, tell them so happy. You guys are Grammarly?
I love Grammarly.
Oh, yeah, no, I have that.
Do you have Grammarly?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Grammarly.
But it's definitely a good thing to just be prepared.
Yes.
But I don't, knock on wood, I'm not a procrastinator. I don't like stress and, you know, first of all, being older, I don't like stress. I deal with my husband, my mother-in-law, you're her primary caregiver. She's dementia and diabetes, and we don't know from one moment to the next what's going on. So I can't afford that last minute. And like I said, I was up to just in court today because again, we were down south and we left Monday, we got home yesterday evening, and by the time we got home yesterday evening, I had a boil up under my arm the size of an egg.
Because of stress.
And I get them periodically, but this one I had it and it was done like over 20 years ago. And it just came back. And just from last night to this morning, just waiting to get to the doctor and then coming in, and like I said, then I jump on the computer when I couldn't pull up the stuff. That just lets you see, you know? I'm like, okay, so I don't like it because you just don't think life happens.
Yes, it does.
You know?
And you can't control so
You
much.
can't.
And if there is something you take control and you're putting it off, then you're only doing a disservice to yourself. And it shows. Excuse me. So, anyway, I think we've got some clear expectations. The biggest thing to remember is it's open communication.
Okay.
If you need something and I don't know about it, I can't do anything for you.
Yeah.
Let me know what you need. Inbox me, because I don't sit at my desk. I have a phone at my desk, but I don't sit at my desk. Okay? I am usually running around with roller skates on if I'm here, and if I'm not here, I work at home, and my phone will ring through my laptop. But again, I've got to be sitting there. I know it's pretty cool. Yeah, as long as I'm signed into our VPN, the phone will ring to my laptop. So I could call you, and the phone will say Pierce College, and I may not be at Pierce College. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it goes. But the key is inbox me, and we will set up a time that works for anybody.
I'm very good with I'm one of those things that if I don't understand something, I'm gonna email you right there.
Good.
I need clarity. And if I don't declare it, I'm gonna say when you able for me to come in, because I need you to explain.
Chances are good if I get an email like that or a message like that and we talk, I might then share that information with the rest of the class.
Because maybe somebody else has the same question.
Bingo,
Yeah.
absolutely. If somebody has a question, somebody else might have it too.
I mean, I'm just bringing this up because it's, not just kids from K-12, but like all students is that they're afraid that their question is stupid. When really like your question might be somebody else's question, or your question is just, it's not, oh, well, this question is it's answered by common sense, when really it might not be. You don't know. So don't be afraid to ask a question if you have that question.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's who we are, where we are, what we're doing. Any questions before we get into content?
No, I'm actually excited to take this course because I've been in customer service for so many years.
How about if you introduce yourself to us, because you haven't done that. We did that already, so maybe we can do a quickie again.
Oh, my name is Ayana. I am a pastor. Me and my husband are both pastors. I have 2 girls. I have a 9-year-old and a 1-year-old. Yes. What else? Oh, I'm off work for the summer. So this is something new. And I am pursuing my bachelor's degree. And
what?
oh, human resources.
Oh, okay, good.
So every time, like, because I started to be a pastor first, and then I started college, and I stopped, and then now I'm like, you know what, I'm not stopping, right? So
I'm doing it.
I'm finishing, like, no matter what, like, even with being a pastor for my husband, I'm like, step down to focus on school, and my husband's working, so I'm excited.
How far do you have to go with your finish?
I think I have a year and a half left. Okay, good. I was only part-time, so now I'm going to be full. Okay. So
Wow. Excellent. Excellent. That's good. That's really good. My favorite thing is to call names at commencement. So I'll get to call your name and your name. And I'll cheer for you anyway.
What is your name? What's your name?
Warren.
I like that. June. Okay.
All right. So, do you want to take a break real quick? Potty break or anything before you're going? It's only 6:25. Yeah? Okay. Let's take a real quick one. I'll pause this for a second. In fact, what I think I'll do is I'll stop recording, so then we'll have this section, and then we'll have just the content section.